The Picts were one of the most mysterious and enigmatic peoples of ancient Britain. Famous for their tattooed and painted warriors, they bravely resisted the continuous invasions of the Roman Empire. But who were the Picts really, and how did they manage to resist the power of Rome? This people, known for their strong cultural identity, left an indelible mark on history despite Rome's attempts to subdue them. In this video, we will uncover the story of the Picts, their origins, their unique culture, and how they managed to resist the Roman forces, who were never able to fully conquer their territory. Join us to explore the mystery of the Picts and how their legacy still lives on in the traces of their resistance. The Picts lived in the region known in ancient times as Caledonia, which today corresponds to modern-day Scotland. This land, characterized by rugged mountains, dense forests, and difficult-to-access territories, was a natural refuge for this warrior people. The name, Picts, comes from the Latin word pictus, which means painted. This refers to the marks or tattoos that the Pictish warriors wore on their bodies, symbols of their identity and strength. These marks were not only decorative but a declaration of their belonging to a unified culture. The Picts were not a single tribe but a confederation of several Celtic tribes that came together over time under the name Picts, due to their cultural and linguistic similarities. Their language, known as Pictish, is related to Celtic, but records are scarce as most writings about them were made in Latin or other languages of neighboring peoples, such as the Romans. Despite their geographic isolation, Pictish culture flourished, with customs and beliefs deeply rooted in their land and history. Although their origins remain a mystery, their resistance to external domination is one of the most impressive aspects of their legacy. Caledonia, home to the Picts, was a remote and geographically isolated region in the northern part of the island of Britain. Its wild and mountainous landscapes made communication and invasion difficult, which turned this territory into a natural refuge for its inhabitants. The terrain of Caledonia was made up of rugged mountains, dense forests, and fast-flowing rivers, providing a natural defense against any attempts at conquest. These harsh conditions played a crucial role in the survival and autonomy of the Picts. While the southern part of the island was more accessible and fertile, which facilitated Roman conquest, Caledonia remained virtually untouched by Rome. The Pictish lands, inaccessible to most invaders, continued to be a challenge for the Roman Empire for centuries. This geographic isolation not only allowed them to maintain their independence, but it also helped forge a unique culture, away from the influences of the more centralized and developed peoples of the island. Although the Romans succeeded in subjugating most of the island of Britain, the north always posed a challenge. Rome was not only facing difficult terrain but also the Picts, a people determined to defend their territory at all costs. The Roman advance to the north began after the conquest of the more fertile southern regions. However, the Roman army encountered strong resistance when trying to penetrate Caledonia. Despite military campaigns and diplomatic efforts, the Picts always found ways to resist and repel the Romans. Aware of the difficulty of subduing the Picts due to their mountainous terrain and fierce resistance, the Romans opted for a different strategy. In 122 AD, Emperor Hadrian decided to halt Roman expansion to the north by establishing clearer borders for the empire. The solution was the construction of the famous Hadrian's Wall, a defensive fortification stretching 117 kilometers from the North Sea to the Irish Sea. The wall was designed to prevent incursions from the Picts and other northern tribes, though it did not fully eradicate their resistance. Despite Roman defenses and the construction of Hadrian's Wall, the Picts did not cease their fight for autonomy. Over the centuries, they continued to be a threat to Rome and maintained an active presence in the region. Even after the construction of the wall, the Picts demonstrated that they would not be subdued. During the reign of Emperor Septimius Severus, in 209 AD, Rome attempted once again to conquer Caledonia. Massive expeditions were organized with 3 veteran legions, but the terrain and the fierce resistance of the Picts led to a bloody and costly campaign. Despite significant losses, Rome could not overcome the Pictish defense. Nearly 50,000 Roman soldiers were forced to retreat, re-establishing Hadrian's Wall and allowing the Picts to maintain their independence. During this period, the Picts remained an important force in the region, participating in coalitions with other barbarian tribes and constantly confronting Rome. The Pictish resistance not only delayed Roman expansion but also laid the foundations for their relevance in the centuries to come. As the Middle Ages progressed, the history of the Picts began to be recorded in more detail. During this time, the Picts still maintained a significant presence in the region, despite continuous attempts to integrate with other peoples and cultures. At this time, the Picts became involved in the political struggles of the island. The Gaelic people of the Kingdom of Dal Riata and the Anglo-Saxons of Northumbria were part of the political landscape surrounding the Picts, who initially remained as vassals of the Anglo-Saxon Kingdom of Northumbria. Although the Picts had their own identity, their influence was limited by Anglo-Saxon power. However, in 685 AD, during the reign of Bride I, the Picts achieved a decisive victory at the Battle of Dun Nectan. This victory interrupted the Anglo-Saxon expansion northward, consolidating the Picts as a power in northern Britain and marking a significant milestone in their history. From this victory, the Picts regained some of their autonomy and continued to play a central role in the kingdoms of the northern part of the island, despite external pressures. Despite the eventual absorption of the Picts by other cultures and their political disappearance, their cultural legacy is still visible today, especially through the impressive Pictish stones. The Pictish stones are one of the most important testimonies of this ancient culture. These stones, primarily found in northern Scotland, are adorned with intricate symbols and geometric figures that offer us a window into the world of the Picts. Although the exact meaning of these symbols remains a subject of debate, it is believed that geometric figures, such as circles and spirals, had a strong spiritual and ritual component. Some represented elements of daily life, such as nature, war, and religious beliefs of the Picts, while other images, like human or animal figures, might have symbolized myths, deities, or significant historical events. These stones were not only a form of art but also a way to mark territory or convey important messages, reflecting the deep connection of the Picts to their land and spiritual practices. Although much of their political identity was lost over time, the Picts left a cultural legacy that continues to be admired and studied to this day. Their art and resistance remain a testament to the strength and identity of this ancient people. Despite the Roman Empire's efforts to conquer and subjugate the Picts, this people managed to maintain their independence for centuries. Their territory, culture, and bravery in the face of Roman invasion became a fundamental part of British history. Although the Picts were eventually absorbed by the Gaels and other peoples, their legacy endures in the impressive Pictish stones and in the memory of their resistance. The Picts left a profound mark on the region, and their history continues to be a source of fascination for scholars and history enthusiasts. If you've been surprised by the story of the Picts and their resistance against Rome, don't forget to like, comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to our channel for more historical content. See you in the next video.